So I think we can all agree Plants vs Zombies ain't doing too hot at the moment. Battle for Neighborville is on its last legs, desperately trying to hold on to the final few remaining players. PvZ 2 continues its MTX apocalypse, trying to set the world record for the number of microtransactions possible in a single game. $20 for an early access plant? Are you serious? Plants vs Zombies YouTubers are like gold dust now, with only big boy Wolfie plays and Fry 'em Up managing to continue to grow rapidly during this PvZ drought. And then there's this. I say no more. But despite these dark times where it looks like the EA zombies might win after all, I think there are a number of relatively easy things the developers can do to help revive our beloved franchise, or at least tide us over until they finish Plants vs Zombies 3 and whatever else they might be working on. Now, I did purposely put the word easy in inverted commas, as I'm not a game developer, and so I have absolutely no idea if the stuff I'm going to say really would be an easy feat, but compared to some of the things I could suggest, I feel like these are somewhat reasonable. Number 1, a remaster of the original Plants vs Zombies. That's right, one of the best selling tower defense games of all times. It's been 12 years since the game was initially released on PC, so I think it's definitely due some TLC. I think this is something the fan base would love, and also bring in that sweet dollar that EA craves. It's a win-win-win, I think, for us, PopCap and EA. Now, when I'm talking about a remaster, I mean a real remaster, but not one that changes the gameplay though. No, let's not be ridiculous now. We can't have anyone messing with a perfect formula now, can we? I'm talking about a remaster that not only goes to town on the visuals, but also combines the best bits from different editions of the game, such as versus mode from the Xbox version. And why not make it online multiplayer instead of just local co-op? As well as this, why not release it on every platform, including Nintendo Switch? We can play PvZ on pretty much every other platform at this point, so I don't think one more is going to hurt. By today's standard, PvZ is a pretty simple game to make, and yes, they don't have George Fan anymore and a lot of the other OGs, but the game is already there, it just needs a fresh coat of paint. I think it would make a lot of fans happy, boost community morale, bring PvZ back into the spotlight for a time, as well as generating a lot of revenue. Number 2, for the love of everything that is holy, please release the practically 100% complete Battle for Neighborville content that has just been sitting, waiting in the files to see the light of day. Even if you don't release Iceberg Lettuce, which you know the community wants, just allow us to have the costumes that we know are complete. Data miners have shown us the Skunk Brains and Disco P costumes are usable. I mean, I'm showing it on screen now. What more evidence do you need? Also, whilst we're on the topic of Neighborville, another thing I think we would all appreciate is if all the changes that came with the Nintendo Switch version of BFN were brought across to the other platforms. Like, the player count is getting very low at this point, and because of the improvements in the Nintendo Switch version, I very much doubt they've had much microtransaction revenue come in since. Just leave us on a happy note so we can say that yeah, Battle for Neighborville wasn't the game we wanted, but at least it was in a somewhat reasonable state and had no MTX by the end. Come on, you must have had your fill of revenue from BFN by now, and whilst yeah, releasing this stuff has no necessary benefit to the company, it will be a small thing that the fan base will really appreciate, the people who buy your games. Number 3 is a quick one. Fix the Plants vs Zombies Heroes Friend List issue that was apparently fixed in the last ever update of the game, but clearly it wasn't, as it still persists years later. Another thing is that the final 2 heroes can no longer be unlocked in the game, as for some reason the packs that contain them got taken out of the game years ago and the characters are no longer available. Now granted, this one is a bit of a stretch, but there is still quite a lot of people playing PvZ heroes, and again, I just feel this is something to boost morale and gain back some trust with the fan base. A lot of things I've suggested aren't necessarily huge things, but they are little things to keep PvZ going and relevant whilst new stuff is in the works. Number 4, reopen the Plants vs Zombies official merch store. Now, unlike the others, this is a sure way to get in some more revenue, as well as make a lot of people happy. I just want to know what crazy person thought it would be a good idea to shut the PvZ merch store. Like, I just can't even fathom how anyone could do that. Yes, there are a bunch of unofficial PvZ plushes and pop figures that you can get out there, and there are those giant plush toys arriving soon, but I think having the official merch store would go down a storm. There's just so many awesome things they could do with the merch. I'm sure even simple things like a pea shooter on a green t-shirt would sell, like literally anything. I kind of think it's easy to underestimate just how popular Plants vs Zombies was and still is. It just seems a really simple way to benefit the franchise as a whole, in my opinion. Although to be fair, I don't actually know why the store was closed in the first place, so there might have been a good reason for it, but I have no idea what that reason could have been. Finally, number 5. So this is something I've touched on many times before, and I still think it's super duper Zomboss is a loser important, because the one thing that could make a huge difference to Plants vs Zombies is communication with the fan base. I mean, I thought this was blatantly obvious. Having an active and positive relationship with your fan base can only be a good thing. Like, I'm not being funny, I post more Plants vs Zombies content on Twitter than the official PvZ account does. Now, that to me doesn't seem quite right. You guys know how important I think communication is, which is why I'm always active on social media and make sure to reply to as many of you as I can. It's not like PvZ aren't posting anything on social media. Like, they do the plant of the week and stuff, they occasionally retweet fan art, which is great, and I love how the tweets are written. I just don't think they engage us as a fan base very well or keep us up to date with what is going on in the world of Plants vs Zombies as a whole. I've used the Among Us social media as a good example in the past. The account makes you feel they themselves are part of the community, if that makes sense, rather than like, we are the company and you are the fans. It's like a we're all in this together type of thing. You know, like the account references current and popular memes about the game. They're not afraid to make fun of their own game and address the reader in their tweets, saying stuff like, which thing are you most looking forward to? I think perhaps a new angle or approach might be in order for PvZ. Maybe the accounts could be made to look like they're ran by Crazy Dave and Zomboss and have some sort of dialogue. I don't know, just something to spark more curiosity and discussion. The other thing is just updating the fan base with how they're getting on with new projects or what's in the pipeline. Like, understandably, I wouldn't expect them to tell us exactly what they're working on and spoil everything, but let's take PvZ 3 for example. The last we heard about it was in October 2020. Even a simple just, hey, just letting you know we're still working on PvZ 3, the project is going well, hope to share things in the near future. It gives nothing away about the game, but it just means the community doesn't always feel in the dark. Anyway guys, there you are, 5 relatively easy things that PopCap and EA could do to help revive Plants vs Zombies. Now, I know there's going to be some of you out there with even better ideas, so please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But other than that, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on notifications, and if you do want to support the channel further, check out my Patreon page by clicking on screen now or through the link in the description. Okay, thanks guys, bye.